Hi, I would like to share with you a bit of scripture. It's from the Epistle of James. It's chapter 1, verses 26 to 27. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridles not his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, those bits of scripture right there are a preface for something I would like to talk to you about, which is a question that I asked ChatGPT recently. I know it's a question that's probably on a lot of people's minds about religion, and we see examples of this in pretty much throughout all the world and pretty much throughout all history. I mean, does religion itself create violent, hateful people? And here's ChatGPT's answer. That's a really important question, and the honest answer is religion itself doesn't automatically create violent or hateful people, but it can be used in ways to amplify those tendencies. So let's break that down carefully. First of all, religion doesn't create human nature, it works with what's already there. Human beings already have the capacity for compassion and cruelty, humility and pride, love and tribalism. Excuse me. Religion steps into that mix. It doesn't invent those traits, it channels them. A person inclined toward empathy may become deeply compassionate through religion, and a person inclined toward control or fear may use religion to justify domination or exclusion. So, religion often acts more like an amplifier than a creator. Point number two is why religion can become a vehicle for hate. There, there are a few recurring dynamics. First of all, there's the divine authority effect. When someone believes God is on my side, it can remove doubt, humility, and self-questioning. That's powerful. It can lead to moral certainty without reflection and justification of harm, aka this is righteous. Secondly, in in-group versus out-group thinking, most religions define who is inside, who is saved, righteous, and chosen, and who is outside. That can become solidarity, leading to healthy community, or leading to tribal hostility. Thirdly, there's fear-based systems. If religion is taught primarily through fear of punishment, threat of hell, and suspicion of others, it can produce anxiety that turns into aggression. Fourthly, authority structures. Religious systems often have leaders who claim spiritual authority. If abused, this can lead to silencing critics, protecting wrongdoing, and controlling behavior through shame and fear. And these are things I've touched in my other questions about church hypocrisy. So let's go on to point number three. But religion can also produce the opposite. This is just as real and historically undeniable. Religion has inspired abolition movements, civil rights movements, charity, hospitals, education, and radical forgiveness and peacemaking. For example, teachings like love your enemies and blessed are the peacemakers push directly against violence and hatred. Point number four, the key difference is how religion is interpreted. Two people can read the same sacred text and walk away with completely different outcomes. One sees mercy, humility, and self-sacrifice. Another sees judgment, hierarchy, and control. Why? Because interpretation is shaped by personality, upbringing, trauma, culture, and power dynamics. Religion becomes a mirror as much as is a guide. Point number five, a more precise way to say it. Instead of religion creates violent, hateful people, a more accurate statement would be religion can justify and intensify violence and hate in people who are already inclined that way, and it can transform people toward compassion and peace. Point number six is a sobering reality. Some of the worst harm happens when people believe they are morally right, feel spiritually validated, and stop questioning themselves. That's not unique to religion, but religion can make it more potent because it ties actions to ultimate meaning. Point number 7 is bringing it back to my themes. Things I've been exploring in my videos, and also my empath lucky smurf stories that I've been writing. Given the kind of questions that I've been asking, church hypocrisy, abuse, moral authority, here's the tension. Religion can call people to their highest moral standard, but it can also give cover to their lowest behavior. That's why so many of Jesus' harshest criticisms were not aimed at sinners, but they were aimed at religious leaders who weaponize faith. So here's a final thought. Religion is like a fire. It can warm, illuminate, and sustain life, or it can burn, destroy, consume. The difference isn't the fire itself, it's how it's handled, who controls it, and whether there are boundaries and accountability. So, So here's my next question. What examples are there of religion being used for hate and violence? And here's ChatGPT's answer. There are a lot of real world examples on both sides. Religion fueling harm and religion producing extraordinary good. Seeing both clearly helps avoid oversimplifying the issue. So, when religion has fueled violence and hate, there's like the Crusades, medieval wars where Christians sought to reclaim holy lands, framed to God's will, and included massacres of Muslims, Jews, and even other Christians. The key dynamic is that violence was justified as sacred duty. And there's the Salem witch trials. This involves fear-driven Puritan community accusations of witchcraft that led to executions, and religious belief mixed with paranoia and social tension. And the key dynamic is fear plus religious certainty equals scapegoating. And there's the Spanish Inquisition, church-backed system to enforce orthodoxy, and they use torture and punishment against heretics. The key dynamic is control belief through force. And there's religious hostility towards LGBTQ plus people. Some groups use scripture to condemn or exclude, and that can lead to rejection, psychological harm, and sometimes even violence. The key dynamic is moral certainty used to justify exclusion. And there's just extremism in various religions. Violent groups claim divine approval, and they use religion to recruit and justify actions. Key dynamic is absolute belief plus identity equals radicalization. Here are examples when religion has inspired compassion and justice. First of all, there's the civil rights movement. This is rooted heavily in black church communities, and leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who used biblical themes like justice, equality, and nonviolence. Key dynamic is faith motivating sacrificial love and justice. Secondly, there's the abolitionist movement. Many Christians argue that slavery was sinful, and faith motivated efforts to end it. The key dynamic is moral conviction rooted in belief in human dignity. And there's Mother Teresa, who dedicated her life to serving the poorest and was motivated by seeing Christ in others. The key dynamic is faith expressed as radical service. And there's Desmond Tutu and reconciliation. He promoted forgiveness after apartheid, and he helped lead truth and reconciliation efforts. The key dynamic is faith driving forgiveness instead of revenge. And there's everyday religious charity. Food banks, shelters, disaster relief, and quiet, consistent acts of compassion. The key dynamic is belief translating into daily care. So, what do all these examples show? The pattern is pretty consistent. When religion goes wrong, certainty replaces humility, identity replaces compassion, and power overrides conscience. When religion goes right, humility deepens, empathy expands, and people sacrifice for others. So the deeper takeaway is that religion isn't a simple cause of violence or goodness, it's a force multiplier. It can sanctify hate, leading to one making it feel more righteous, or it can sanctify love, making it feel more sacred. So just something to share this morning, and just I hope it's very informative, and just anyway, that's all I have to share with you. So have a wonderful day, and may God bless you.